Yeah, thank you for starting the recording, Kuba. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to those of you joining from different time zones. I'm Rafał Barnowski, and today, together with my colleagues, Mateusz and Jakub, and together with our customer, Van Merbeek Metalen from Belgium, we'll be happy to present to you our recent implementation of Continia document capture. So I hope that it will be the best, the most interesting hour of your day today. Okay, so let's get started. Next slide, please. Okay, so today with me is Nicola Kmax, Transformation Manager from Van Merbeek. Hi, Nicola. I'm happy you're here. Thank you for your participation and for putting the time and effort of preparing this webinar together with us. Nicola is also our business partner for this implementation. With me today is also Mateusz from EIP Dynamics.
Hello, everyone.
Experienced Business Central consultant and our top Continia expert. And myself, Rafał Barnowski. I'm responsible for our sales and marketing activities so that companies like you get to know our experiences and what cool things we do. We also have Jakub with us today, who will be supporting the webinar. Yeah, and let's start with some housekeeping rules. So we have measured that the session should last around 45 minutes. It's being recorded, so everybody that has registered will receive a link to this recording. And after the main session, we will finish it with Q&A. Your microphones will be muted throughout the duration of this webinar, but you will have a chance to communicate with us by clicking Q&A or chat buttons at the bottom of the screen. Yes, so at the end, I will host the Q&A session based on that. Okay, so agenda is full for today. Let's have a look at it. I will start with a short intro about Continia and about Continia document capture, the product. Then we'll move to Nicola, who will talk about his company, Van Merbeek Metalen, and the project context. So you can expect to hear about how this project came to be, how the project unfolded from the perspective of the customer, what are the project benefits. Then we will move to Mateusz, who will give you some background information about Continia, including OCR, including document flow. Just bear in mind that this is not a basic Continia webinar because we covered that before. We will focus more on what has been developed specifically for Van Merbeek Metalen, and that will be illustrated by a system demo. Part of it is already recorded, and part of it will be live. We just wanted to avoid the situation of leaking out any sensitive data. That's why we recorded part of the presentation, but then we'll also continue with a live demo, and Mateusz will close his session with a short summary. Then I'll take the stage again and talk a little bit about our company, EIP Dynamics, and invite you for future events. And we'll finish off, as mentioned before, with a Q&A session. Okay. So let's have a look at Continia, the partner, and Continia document capture as a solution. The Continia is a partner based in Denmark, specializing in Dynamics NAV and Business Central add-ons. We are a pretty recent partner because our partnership dates back to 2020, but Continia quickly became our favorite solution, Continia document capture, and we already have several implementations, including the ones on Dynamics NAV and also Business Central. We joined a big community of 800 partners worldwide who serve more than 15,000 customers. And what is very interesting and very strong is also that this Continia solutions are already available both for on-premise, that's obvious, but also for online. So you can find them in the App Source store. Today we'll focus on one product, Continia document capture, but we also know our way around their other main products like expense management and web approval portal. but they will not be covered today. Okay, so what Continua Document Capture is, first and foremost, it's like a very powerful OCR technology, which in English means that the full name is optical character recognition, which in English means that the system, the engine, can recognize from scanned documents text and insert this text into meaningful fields and tables into Dynamics NAV and Business Central. The time saving is that the conversion of one page usually takes just several seconds. Just ask your accountant or admin staff. Okay, sorry, we cannot hear you. There is a question from the chat. Okay, so I will stop just for 1 second and ask if anyone can hear me now.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. What about our attendees? Could you use the chat button? Okay, so it can be just an individual case. If you could reload and rejoin the webinar, I think it can be fixed. Okay, I'm happy that other people can hear us. So yeah, I will repeat that because that was a very strong point I wanted to make. So the time investment is that your team needs to create predefined templates. But once you have it, the conversion of one page just takes seconds, and also the possibility of error is very, very low, yes, because the engine has close to 100% efficiency in recognizing the text. So yeah, it's also worth mentioning that there's a specific engine behind Continua. It's called ABI, and their technology Fine Reader. It supports almost 200 languages. Yeah, and when purchasing Continua license, you get this engine within the license. It can be both installed on your servers, or it can be accessed as an online service. All right, and just to summarize some benefits of document capture solution. So I already focused on the automation part, also putting the data automatically into Dynamics NAV and Business Central, but equally strong. By the way, this is something that Nicola will talk about, giving you some specific numbers from our implementation. But also the second equally strong point is that offers powerful workflow scenarios, which can be customized for our customers during the implementation. And this is like an integrated Business Central experience, both in the traditional installed Windows client and already in the web client. All right, so I'll now ask Nicola to take the stage and talk us through the VMM as a company and give us some background information about the project that we did together.
Well, first of all, Rafael, thanks for having me. I'm really happy to be able to talk about this project, because as you will see in the next slides, it was for us a very successful project.
Thank you.
Let's first talk a little bit about me as a person and the company I work for. I'm Nicholas. I'm a transformation manager. So my role is actually to bring in projects that will make the efficiency and the productivity of the people work a little bit better. Yeah. So the company, it's Van Meerbeek Metalen. This is Dutch for a steel company. And basically, we are a steel distributor with 3 warehouses across Flanders. It's a family-owned company where I am the 5th generation, and we took over the management in 2018. We are a product distributor. We have all sorts of products, meshes, beams, and tubes, and so on and so on. But we also provide some extra services like welding, bending, for mainly the residential construction business. We have about 50 colleagues, 20 white collars and 30 blue collar workers. Now, the process is that we started as a consultant in 2017 with my colleague and I, and we took over the management in 2018. The first thing that we did is we implemented a new ERP system, which was at the time Navision 2016. Thanks to that, we got an insight of the processes which were already happening in the company. And hence, we restructured the firm and went from a change. You know, when you implement an ERP system, you're really into a change modus where every week there is a new change into the system and the processes, and more into a run modus. Now, how the project came to be, it's a long story for the last 3 years, and it's actually with the mentality of continuous improvement that we are trying to implement here within the company. It's to change wherever change is needed. You only change where you can improve the processes, and that was a mentality of continuous improvement. So in 2018, we implemented, as I said, a new ERP system. In 2019, we basically tried to improve the overall processes and the performance of this ERP system aligned with the processes of the people. And that was just implementing the core. In 2020, we tried to analyze every sub-process as individual processes and try to improve them through automatization or automation. Like, for instance, the sales invoicing, which is now Navision based as well, but it's basically here it was just to automate the invoicing at the end of month. And in 2021, slowly but surely, we implemented other projects with external software, not Navision based anymore, but external software, like, for instance, the reporting in Power BI. We have also a drawing program which is called Tekla, which we integrate with Navision now, that whenever a drawing is done, the sales order can be automatically generated in Navision. And then we have this OCR project for the incoming invoices. And we hope in the coming years to have plenty more. But those were more improving the sub-processes to improve really the productivity and the efficiency of the people on the floor. Yeah. So a little bit about the project. How we see projects within the company is we always have 3 parameters or indicators that we'd like to follow up whenever we start a project. And you can see them here. It's first of all, the time. How much time is it going to take? Will it be delivered on time? Because maybe there's some interdependencies with other projects. The second aspect is the budget and the resources that you have to allocate to the project. And then the quality. Obviously the time, well, here it was a project which we discussed already. We were discussing it internally quite a bit. But as from the start and the kickoff to the end of the go live, and a couple of weeks after the go live, the project took a total of 3 months. Yeah, the scope was pretty restricted to the accounting department because they were only to the incoming invoices, and we wanted to start with this aspect of this this software, maybe to see a future in other processes as well. But for the scope, it was only the accounting department and the incoming invoices, and that took 3 months in total, and it was delivered on time. So that we were really happy with, especially that it went from September to November, so it didn't, flow into another year. In terms of budget and resources, this is the very first project that I had that ended up below budget. So that I'm very happy about. And we had very limited human resources. There were, for EIP Dynamics, 1 project manager and a technical, and we had 2 people in our accounting department, 2 users doing the work, basically, and I was the project management on the customer side. And then in terms of quality, like I say here, it's very important to have a good scoping on forehand to say, okay, what is in the project and what is out of the project. After the go live, we didn't have any critical errors. They did have some questions about how to make templates, but that was really fastly improved along the way. Plus, and this is really nice about this project, is that it's a parallel process to the actual process in place. So the old way of working can still be used by the users, and that takes away a lot of stress as well. That's they can always rely on the old way of working. So
Okay.
overall, this project was really a big success.
Okay, thank you, Nicola, for this perspective. It's it's very nice. It's very nice and always nice to hear that our team did a good job. But yeah, I was also thinking how you made sure that your team will be equally motivated and focused on the project at hand.
It's a very good question. I think there you have two major elements. The first one is to really implicate the users as from the very start, meaning even before the kickoff, you have to implicate the users with the demos that were made by EIP Dynamics on forehand, and to implicate them as from the start, so that they get the whole story and the whole picture. The second part is to really communicate a lot with the teams and the users and EIP Dynamics and the supplier, of course, about what are the expectations that are expected from the users, both in terms of hours, but also in terms of technical skills. And I think the combination of these two elements made that for us, the users, they were not expected to do that many hours, but the hours that they put in it, they did it with me and with the supplier as well. And that made it very easy for them to accept the project and to actually implement it along the way. And then
Okay.
there's a quick third one, is to always celebrate the quick wins and the successes. That's always nice to, have some team building whenever something is done and went well.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, we might have some future Continua customers on the webinar, so I hope that this advice, this perspective can be beneficial and useful for them. Could you now guide us through the project benefits that have been visible for you and for the team?
Sure. These project benefits, well, they're a little bit data driven, obviously. In the very beginning, it was to improve the efficiency of the accounting department. They have about 3,400. We have two companies, VMM and Metalgent, and overall that's about 4,300 invoices per year that they have to operate. They have to open the emails, open the PDF files. They have to recognize the supplier. They have to put it into Navision. It's a whole bunch of administrative work that they have to do, while this is now all automated. Yeah. So in terms of efficiency, now they have created over the last 5 months more than 300. Actually, it's more than 6 months. More than 300 templates, and that means that we have about 300 suppliers, which for every supplier they made a new template that whenever an email is coming in with a PDF file with an invoice in there, that it would be automatically recognized and processed in Navision. This made that there was a time gain from up to 40%, and actually the user said even up to 45%. But the fact is that time is just used more efficiently. We are now in a modus of controlling the invoices more than opening it up, opening the email, and all the administrative steps that actually are really time consuming. Well, actually now they can control and really do focus work on the invoices. And that is obviously better off also for our cutoff, because we ask for a cutoff every month to our accountancy so that we can better manage the company month after month. There's also the third aspect is there's less error. There's no more manual input in the ERP system. They only control the data, as I was saying. And that means that obviously that there's less error. Now, the fourth element, and that is more in terms of the perspective of the management, is that there's an improved visualization of the invoices. Before that, we had to open an invoice in Navision, You had to click on a link, get to the SharePoint, open the PDF file, check if the data was correct as was expected from the management, and then go back to validate the invoice. This is now all improved in one visualization where you have on the left-hand side the Navision data and on the right-hand side a picture of the invoice. Obviously, with that sort of automation, there's always a danger, and that will be for every project where we put a new system, is that you go maybe too fast over the automated process without checking the data and making mistakes when you try to post in bulk the data in the system. Now, this will always be a danger. Human errors are always possible, obviously. So that's about it for the project benefits.
All right, thank you, Nicolas, thank you, Rafael. So now I think we can start with some slides about continuous document capture in details, and after that we are going to share you the video which I recorded yesterday, and after that I will show you how we can work with Continua after the initial setup on live database. So now let's focus on the slides. So one more time, my name is Mateusz Przybylski. I am technical consultant. I'm working with Business Central and a few other products like Continua Document Capture. So let's start with documents delivery. So somehow we should deliver documents for Continua Document Capture. As Nicolas said, they are using emails, but we can also, scan the paper documents and put the PDF file into the folder, or simply copy the PDF file from local or network location, and then system, Continua, Navision, or Business Central will automatically download this PDF document and process them inside your ERP system. Okay, and next step would be OCR processing. So this is the step made by Abi if we choose the OCR on premise, or via cloud OCR on Continua Cloud cloud service. So this is up to you. You can use OCR on premise or OCR or cloud OCR by Continua solution. So once it's processed, we can easily import it to ERP system. So next step would be registration. So now we will use only NAV or Business Central with integrated document capture, or in the other words, document capture inside Business Central, because this is one product. We don't have any other product outside the Business Central. When we import the invoices, we work in Business Central. So this is really easy for users that we still use the same environment. All right, so this is a screenshot from the system, which I will show in a sec. But on this level, we have to set the template, or if the template has been already configured and the invoice is logically and statistically correct, so we can register and purchase invoice will be automatically created. So once we deliver document, our AB engine or Cloud Continua solution will OCR this document. Then we can import it to the system. And if we don't have a template, we have to create template. If we already have a template, it's enough to just click register, and we have ready to post purchase invoice. Of course, this is only shortcut of what we can do. We can even automate it a little bit more, but this is something which we talked before. So if you want, you can watch on YouTube our previous webinar about the Continua. So next step would be workflow. We can use workflow if you want. Continua Document Capture has prepared advanced workflow inside the product. So yeah, we will focus on pending app document, which is step which we can use. And how does it work? So we got our release invoice and we have three options. We can use approval flow codes. This is quick summary, so we can use the simple path of user who should approve your invoice. So it should be user number 1, after user second, etc. We can use 4-eyes approval, or we can use advanced approval groups to approve invoices based on a dimensions, for example. Yeah, and I think this is it about approval. Of course, this is a huge module, but right now we will focus on something what we did in VMM, Nicolas' company. So after the invoice is approved, we are ready to post the invoice. So this is the shortcut of everything. So first of all, we have incoming documents. So somehow we should deliver the documents. This happens automatically, and then we can approve if you want. First we have to register, then approve, post, archive. Of course, train means that if this is the invoice for the first time, then we have to create template. I strongly saying that we do this only for the first time. So for the supplier, we use we train the continuous document capture only for the first time, and then we just have added value from this training. So now, in a moment, I will show you a video which we recorded yesterday in VMM development database. And after that, I will show you something more. Yeah, and for the first minute, I'm not moving my mouse on this movie, so do not worry about this. And okay, so now I'm gonna just start the video.
In Van Merbeke Metalen, we often receive an invoice where there is a vendor's item number on it. This company have huge number of suppliers and literally tons of items indexes. So we first thought that we can use cross-references or some kind of dictionary to cover items. But it was not enough. So we decided that we will match the invoices based on the order number or shipment number and some other information. In VMM company, there is a field called quantity on delivery node, which is, let's say, quantity which warehouse operator put on the purchase order during delivery. Then the same person put the vendor shipment number on it. And because we are in a steel business, it's not always easy to receive exact ordered quantity because of the characteristic of the product. So shortly, let me open the posted purchase receipt. And first point of the flow is vendor sends us his shipment document, where we can find quantity of our products which has been shipped to us, and of course shipment number. So this is the field I'm talking about, quantity on delivery node, and this is vendor shipment number. So employee put the quantity of the products and shipment number on the purchase order. Then employee creates posted purchase receipt, which is which we are now. We are in a posted purchase receipt, and this is the field which we will use for matching. I mean quantity on the delivery node. So I will show you in a second how does it work. Generally, purpose of this presentation is that we can really meet your requirements. Yeah, so this is posted purchase receipt, and now let's go check the invoice for this delivery. So let me open the document journal, which is something from Continua, and right now I think good to mention is that in Belgium, a VAT registration number is not a perfect for detecting the vendor on a document. As you can see, in Belgium we have enterprise number, which is which is there, and it is most powerful identification field in Belgium. In Poland, for example, there is a VAT registration number always on an invoice. In Belgium, it's not. So we can use a built-in continuous solution for that and specify which field should be used for, let's say, identification of supplier from the invoice. So we can close this for a moment, click actions there, click identification fields. And this is something worth to mention, that we have rating there. So we can choose whatever field we want to choose from a vendor card and specify that based on this field, this is the most important field in terms of detecting vendor from a printout. So in the other words, it means that I can select a field or set of fields to identify the supplier from the document. But it's already built in Continua, so let's go back to our invoice. So I will click Edit Journal one more time. All right. So let me go to the document card to have my lines as well, and then is a moment for template creation. So I will click Recognize Fields to initialize template creation because we received this invoice for the first time. So let me just click it. In Van Meerbeek Metalen, during new template creation, you have to choose master template, whether it's inventory invoice or simply direct GL invoice. And this is the moment. Of course, you have to do this only once. It means that when this supplier sends us another invoice, it will be read automatically without user participation. User, of course, should control this invoice, but that's only it. Based on that, we have different predefined, based on this template list, we have a different predefined settings. So I will choose items related template, and I will start to create template, child template based on this master template. So I click OK. All right, so I got my fields. And I see that some of the fields has been automatically recognized. This is something which Continua can do. If not, we have to add some fields manually. But this is, as I said, only for our first time. Let's try to do this quickly. If you want to check the basics, please watch our previous webinar on YouTube. So I will select the document date. All right, and then I can go our due date. Close this for a moment. Our order number could be, it could be empty because we don't have our order number on this printout. IBAN check is new field for VMM company. I will show you why we have added this in a moment. Right now, I'm just gonna capture this number, this account, bank account number. Currency code could be blank because it's euro, like our currency. Amount excluding VAT, I will just select this one. VAT amount has been captured automatically, but it's zero, so it's blank. And I will capture the totals with euro, which are right in this example the same, but sometimes they couldn't be. It could be different than excluding VAT. All right, GL account number could be blank because we are going to capture lines, and posting description could be also blank. Vendor shipment number is really important, so I will select the shipment number which is there. All right. Yeah, so this shipment number is the same, which was on the posted receipt, which we saw a moment ago. So we have all scripted there. So according to the lines, it's enough to OCR only the line amount and quantity on delivery note. So let me just do this quickly. So I will select line amount. we don't care, to be honest, right now, if there is what item number is there. We only care of two variables, which is quantity on delivery node and line amount. Okay, then we can click recognize fields to refresh all the information and capture more lines automatically. And as you can see, there is no errors in comment section. So you can see that right now we have technical GL account assigned and quantity is always 1. And unit cost is equal to the line amount because this is something what we developed. So this is only our technical temporary data. So in the other words, we will take data from the invoice and merge them with some information from purchase order and or posted purchase receipt to create our final invoice based on our algorithms, which we developed with Nicolas during analysis phase. So we didn't want and we won't use match lines module because we wanted to make it as simple as possible. So this way is much more faster because all we have to do now is click register, and yeah, and I'm gonna do that. So register, and now purchase invoice has been created. And as you can see, our modification took information from receipt because system looked for this vendor shipment number in a posted purchase receipt, and also check if there is any item with quantity on delivery node, which is 152 and 168. And it happened that system was able to find the correct item. So that's pretty it. We got our matched receipt. Everything is there. Lines, totals are there, and they are correct. And the same like on the printout of the invoice. So this looks pretty good. Of course, if there is more lines, it looks better. But for this preview, for this demo, I think this is enough to understand what is going on right now. One thing I mentioned one thing about IBAN check, and now we can go there and do some changes. So let me just delete this invoice. So I will click reopen. It will delete the previous invoice I already created. It wasn't posted yet, so I can do this and try to register it one more time. But I will change IBAN account number, which is there. I will change, let's say, freelance Dix. So all right. And now we can click just register. So as you can see, there is a warning message that IBAN doesn't match with vendor bank account from the system. So there could be many reasons why something like this happened, but it's good to know. That. So again, controlling is still needed. This IBAN on the PDF document is taken from this place. I overwrite this value manually, so this is it. But even another IBAN which system tried to test is from vendor card, is vendor bank account. So when I click OK, of course, purchase invoice will be created, but we see that IBAN for posting from the vendor card is different than IBAN from OCR. So right now we have to adjust one of them if needed, and that's pretty nice feature to control your vendor bank accounts and what is on the invoice compared to what is in the system. I think we have few more features for VMM, but I think that's pretty it. As I said, the purpose of this demo was that we wanted to let you know that we can really meet your requirements, and if you have anything what you want to achieve and you know how it should work, or at least you kind of know how it should work, we are pretty sure that we can develop it using Continia and our skills, and create something which you will really like. So I think that's pretty it, and thank you.
All right. Yeah. So that was the movie. Now I will try to reconnect to this database and show you the reason why we set up this template before. So yeah, this is the live database, and as you can see, I prepared 3 more invoices there. This is like fake data, but for these invoices, I already prepared in a system the 3 different receipts, so shipments. Vendor shipments, and now all we have to do is just go to the Navision Business Central, and I've already imported these 3 invoices to the system. So just remember that on the video we set up the invoice for this supplier for EIP Dynamics. We set up it for the first time, but we did it for a reason. We did it because let's say tomorrow or today or after 1 month, the supplier will send us another invoices, many invoices. So now I think now I want that I want to only put this invoice, this PDF file to the Continia, and I wish that it would be just imported, and this is it, and it will automatically be ready to register. So I got these 3 invoices in my system, so I'm gonna click import files. All right, I get 3 files imported. Then I can click edit journal, and I see that all of the invoices have been imported to the system. So there is a Boolean mark check. Okay, so it means that this is everything correct with it, and I'm ready to register it. So in other words, this is I don't have to do anything. It's enough. I just click register. So I'm gonna do that, and it created the purchase invoice automatically. So that's the added value when you create the template for the first time. And then supplier sends you a lot of invoices, and then you can just simply click register. Yeah, so everything is there, header and lines, our bank check, everything is there. So I can click OK. So I can simply click register for the second invoice. Yeah, and that's pretty it. I got lines connected with a receipt, header, the same story, and of course I can go for the third one. And that's the way that's the possible way where Continia can help you with your business, and just give you more time for controlling or more important thing, instead of just putting all the information all the time to the system, which is not the best job for human right now. All right, so that was the let's say summary of our video why we did it, and then I think we can jump to the summary of our Continia webinar. So as Rafał mentioned in the beginning, the document capture is integral part of Dynamics NAV Business Central. So there is no other software you have to use or maintain or learn to. It's inside the Business Central, so your ERP system. Of course, digitalization of documents. So everything is in your archive in your Navision. You can see the preview on the right. You can download PDF file whenever you want. So this is it. Workflow can be done as well inside your system. You don't have to bring your papers at the desk anymore. And this is a really customizable solution. So as you saw before, it wasn't everything in Continia initially. We developed a few modifications for Nicolas and his company. So Continia could be adjusted or improved according to the client's needs. This is in a basic solution, in Continia basic solution. There is a lot of things which can help you, but if it's not enough, we still can improve it somehow to meet your requirements. And of course, we got auto document matching. So many options or many approaches, as you saw before. And yeah, and this is all for document management to be organized and in a good shape and good way. So well, yeah, and one more thing, we got fully indexed archive, but this is what I talk about the digitalization of documents. So everything is visible, connected to the documents, and ready to download. So right now, I think we are going back to Rafał, and Rafał is gonna talk about our company.
Yeah, thank you, Mateusz, for the very insightful recording and the live and showing us live the time savings, time benefits of continuous document capture. So now just a couple of words about the EAP Dynamics and our future event. I can see that there are some questions coming up in the Q&A, so we'll come back to it in 3 minutes, I think. Okay, could you pull up the next slide? At EAP Dynamics, we are in the group of Gold Microsoft partners focusing on Dynamics NAV and the Business Central. Obviously, our experience dates back to very early versions of Navision, like 2.6. But currently we're working mostly with supported versions of the systems, and of course Business Central, including our first Business Central online implementations. We were Partner of the Year on 3 occasions back in 2014, 17, and 18. Yeah, and the team is at around 70 people right now. All of them, or almost all of them, based in Poland, and out of 70 people, we have 21 experts, so people with at least 10 years of experience with Navision, NAV, and Business Central, around whom we are building our support, development, and project teams. Yeah, and even though the team is located in Poland, and we pride ourselves in being one of the biggest partners in Central Eastern Europe, our reach is much broader because we serve almost all European countries, minus some, let's say, southern ones. So there are around 30 countries in Europe where we have customers. Also in US and Canada, we have customers or partners. So whenever you are thinking about an international partner, we are a truly one. Yeah, and our future event in 2 weeks' time, our senior consultant Łukasz Grabowski will host another event with our customer Booksy, who happens to be the biggest Polish startup. So if you are curious how Dynamics Business Central can be developed and actually bring value in a fast-moving, fast-growing, fast-changing business, which spans across several countries, that will be a treat for you. Plus, part of the Booksy webinar will be also focused on Continia, but this time workflow scenarios. Yes, so if this is something that strikes your fancy, I think you will get very interesting information there. Okay. Yeah, by the way, the QR code, maybe we can display it one more time. The QR code, yes. So if you pull up your phone and scan it, you will be guided to a Zoom landing page where you can register for this event. Yeah. So now coming to the Q&A, I'll have a look at the questions. We have several of them. Let me read them out loud and ask either Mateusz or Nicola to answer them. Okay, so first one is from Thomas. Thank you. Is it possible to search full text in the scanned documents from NAV? I think Mateusz, maybe you can take this one.
Okay, so is it possible to search full text? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not quite. I don't know if I get this question. I'm not. I don't really know what do you mean by full text. But when you OCR the document, when you OCR a document, there is every information, every character from the invoice is stored in your database. So if you want to search for any particular character or sentence, it is possible to do. But if you can explain a little bit what do you mean about this full text, then we can maybe even in a moment go back for it. So yeah.
Yeah. So if Thomas, if there is something more you would like you hoped to achieve with this question, then please let us know. Okay, and we have one more from Thomas. Is there any assignment of purchase orders to purchase invoices? So yeah, I understand. Is there like a link created between them, maybe on the line level?
Yeah, there could be. I mean, the assignment could be based on the item number, quantity, unit cost, or like in this example, on the quantity on delivery note in VMM. But normally it's like a standard Navision function. When you are in a purchase order, you can, or when you create a purchase invoice, you can get a posted purchase receipt or purchase order lines. And this is what Continua uses. So we match the lines and use this function. So we got a lot of possibilities to somehow link the purchase invoice lines with purchase orders. We don't even, if you don't want to link the purchase invoice, because you are pretty sure that your purchase order is exactly like your purchase invoice, you don't even have to capture the lines. You can capture only the header and totals and say that we want to take lines from purchase order. So there is many options for that if you want to do this way.
Thank you. If there is any need for follow-up, please let us know. Okay, so now we are moving to chat because there are some questions here. Okay, one question is about the mismatch between purchase order and the invoice. It reads, how does it work when the item line of the purchase order is different to the line of the invoice?
Okay, so in VMM, we got this. We got other scenarios. Yeah, I showed you only the best scenario. If there is something which does not match, we use this. We just have something which we agreed on. So, for example, when there is a different quantity on delivery note on the purchase and different on posted purchase receipt, we can choose if you want to take the purchase receipt lines, or maybe just put the technical GL accounts on the invoice, and then someone manually will have to control it. So, as Nicolas said, if there is something wrong, someone should check on it and try to match it manually, because Continua doesn't really know what is good or what is correct. So we can prepare something for a user when there is a mismatch, or even inform user inform user that there is a mismatch, and then user has to check and correct the data. Normally, in a basic Continua solutions, we got this match lines module, and then we will just manually choose the line and confirm that this line, let's say on purchase order, the quantity on purchase order is correct than on the invoice. Yeah. So sometimes, or maybe prices are different. But normally, user, if it's not, let's say, 100% match, user have to check. But we can use the setup of Continia and set some variance to allow Continia to just ignore if it's like 5 or 10% in total on differences. We can agree that we will just take the value from the invoice, and user will be not notified about this. So we got few things and possibilities to deal with it, because as you saw, we create a very nice scenario, but we have, of course, different scenario also taken care of. So yeah, that's the answer.
Okay, so there's one more question about different date formats. It reads, it often happens that date format is different from vendor to vendor, and we have 3 examples. Is that a problem for the software?
Yeah, not really. On a video, maybe I should focus a little bit on this message wheel, which just pop out when I select, I think, 26th of January, which is in Belgium, January probably. I mean, for sure. So Continia can read this mouse or different date formats and just convert it. Of course, there could be a problem, yeah, if it's like 1st of January, because that could be a problem if it's or 2nd of January. It's 2nd of January or 1st of February. Yeah? So, but this also can be just corrected by user. So this is what this information is, that Continia thinks that this date which I selected on a document, it's a different format, and Continia thinks this is the format, and do you agree? If you don't agree, you can simply just check the format on field settings on template, and you only have to do this once, and then all the information and settings will be saved for the future invoices for this customer, for this vendor. Sorry, and yeah, so it handles date format pretty well for me, better than Excel for sure. So yeah, that's pretty it.
Okay. There is one follow-up question from Thomas regarding the full text search functionality. Yeah, it says like in Google, like for example, invoice number can be found through a search engine within Dynamics NAV or some other information, not in the document, but not in one document, but in all scanned documents.
Well, I think I have to check this. Okay, and so then we can go back to you with an answer in 1-2 days. Okay, because I have to check what we got and what are our possibilities, because I'm not sure about this right now.
Okay, yes, fair enough. By the way, all people who have registered will receive after our webinar will receive the recording, the slides, and this transcript of the Q&A. So we will include that answer into the transcript. Okay, we coming back to chat. We have some more there. Sometimes the invoice comes via email before the shipment arrives. Is that an issue? What happens in NAV then?
We agreed in VMM that shipment should be first. So that's the option in VMM. But normally, yeah, it's common that there is first invoice, second it's shipment. Of course, Continia in basic solutions can match with purchase order or purchase receipt. In VMM, we agreed on purchase receipt, but normally, if we don't want to wait for purchase receipt, we can connect our invoice with purchase order, and maybe just post the receipt, so we receive it automatically with an invoice. I mean, it's up to you if it's possible, yeah, to do this, because I believe we agreed in VMM that there is no way we can post invoice if there is no shipment. So if it's okay in your company to do that, that's pretty okay. We can post both during invoice posting, or just match it with purchase order. Then just wait for shipment, and post shipment and then invoice. I mean, many scenario it's possible. It's really customizable and configurable. So,
Mateusz,
yeah.
if I may add something here, is that at VMM we have two types of invoices. We have the steel invoices for all the materials that we buy, but then we have all the non-steel invoices like electricity, like gas, like phone bills, and so on, for which we don't receive any receipts. So we actually use both processes and both ways of posting.
Yeah,
and that is
sure.
totally flexible in this case, that you can, there's just two types of templates in that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe I focused a little bit too much on items inventory cases, but yeah, normally if you just have a invoice which you just post directly to the GL accounts, you don't really have to wait for anything.
Okay, we have some more. Is the purchase order automatically archived after posting the invoice?
I don't think so. It's done by default. I mean, it uses, you know, the standard option. So later we can even, you know, set up some job queue to run this delete invoice purchase order, or maybe you can just run this function automatically. But if you want, we can. It's like, let's say, really nice, fast and easy mode to do this. So we can use the delete purchase order. Delete invoiced purchase order automatically, and we can merge it with a posting invoice for you if you want. So it's not like it's in standard. There is no any check mark for that, but we can simply do this and add it for you without any problem.
Two more. Can we post invoices into the future, or can we post invoices in the past? So after, before the invoice date that was recognized.
Sorry, could you repeat?
Can we post invoices into the future, or can we post invoices into the past? For the invoice date.
Yeah, we can for sure post it into the past if our accounting period is okay with this. And yeah, we can do this the same for the future. But I'm not sure if you are talking more about, you know, cost allocation, because Continia has something like cost allocation. So we just allocate something for the future. Then we just post it again against this cost allocated. But if you are talking about just easy scenario to post something which was, you know, yesterday or tomorrow, that's pretty okay.
Yep. And one more, how does it work when we receive an invoice where there is no matching purchase order, like monthly telephone bill?
All right, so it's up to you if you want. Okay, maybe I should start from this, because it's up to you if you want to match something. If you don't want to match anything because you simply don't have a purchase order, you don't have to do this. I mean, it's something which you can help control your, you know, flow of documents like in VMM. But if there is no reason to create purchase order or receipt or whatever, there is no you don't have to match anything. You can simply, you know, register it without matching. There would be like information that there is no match, and that's pretty it. You can simply create invoice, or even use the standard distribution code, or just a standard purchase vendor code, and just distributing for accounts. But you don't have, you are not obligated to match the lines. So that's pretty okay.
Okay, I think we have no more questions. So thank you for all the participants. Thank you for interesting questions. Quite many of them. For me, it's always a sign that the webinar was well received. Yes, so thank you for Nicola, thank you for Mateusz, thank you for Jakub for co-hosting and putting the time and effort for making it work. Jakub will now organize the shipment of materials and recordings. Yeah, and see you. We'll see you around on our future events. Have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Nicolas, Rafał, Kuba.
Thank you. Bye-bye.